All right, guys. I got a hold of the Armon Wiggins versus Do Not Richard, I believe his last name is Ricketts, restraining order that Armon filed on December 1st, 2025, in California. What I want to do is just say before I begin reading that this was denied by the judge. So, just so that we have context here, but let's jump in. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Don't forget, we are trying to get to our monetization goal, so please like and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so the person seeking protection is Armon Wiggins, age 37. And it has his address. The person from whom protection is sought is Do Not Ricketts, age 36, who also is in Los Angeles, California. All right, the relationship of the parties. It says check here if there is not enough space for your answer. Put your complete answer on the attached sheet of paper. Okay, so we'll see if he has an amendment, but it just says no relationship, online content creator. Okay, for the venue, why are you filing in this county? The person lives in this county. Okay, I was harassed by that person. Other court cases, have you or any other persons named in the parties been involved in another court case with a person? And number two, yes. Let me read that again. Well, let me check number three. Number three is additional protected persons. So there's nothing here, but he checked yes. Then he checked no, and he scratched it out. So he put yes. Have you or any of the persons named in 3 been involved in another court case with the person in 2? Okay, so number 2 is do not. So have you or any other person in number 3, which would be additional protected persons, which he did not name any additional protected persons. Okay, next slide. Have you or any of the persons, the additional protected persons, which he did not name, been involved in another court case with this person? At first he put no, and then he checks yes. Then it says, if yes, check each kind of case and indicate where and when each was filed. The kind of case that he selected was criminal, filed in LA, year filed. This is from 2023. Okay, so respectfully, he's reaching. And it also, a part of the denial probably stemmed from the fact that he did not even fill this out correctly. Have you or any other person named in number 3, which was the additional protected persons, where he wrote nothing, been involved in another court case with denied? So the answer is no. So the judge probably looked at this as a lie. Let's keep going. Are there now any protective or restraining orders in effect relating to you or any of the persons in 3? So relating to you or any additional protected persons. And do not. He put no. Okay. Description of harassment. Tell the court about the last time that do not harassed you. When did it happen? Provide date or estimated date. He says, see attachment 7, description. Who else was there? I guess see attachment 7, description of harassment. Okay. Let's move forward. Okay, how did did not harass you? Check here if there is not enough space for your answer. Put your complete answer on the attached sheet of paper, okay? See attachment. Did not use or threaten to use a gun or any other weapon? No. Were you harmed or injured because of the harassment? No. Did the police come? No. Has not harassed you at other times? Yes. Check here if there is not enough space for your answer. Okay. All right. Personal conduct order. I asked the court to order the person not to do any of the following things to me or to any person to be protected, listed in 3, which there's no one there. He's asking the court that did not refrain from harassing, intimidating, molesting, attacking, striking, stalking, threatening, assaulting, hitting, abusing, destroying personal property of or disturbing the peace of Armon. He's also asking the court to do not refrain from contacting him directly or indirectly in any way, including but not limited to in person, by telephone, in writing, by public or by private email, by inter-office email, by text message, by fax, or by other electronic means. Okay. 9. Stay away order. I asked the court to order the person to stay at least 100 yards away from me, my home, my job. Number 4, that's it right there. That's it right there. That's it right there. Because the theory has been that Armon did not to be a part of these trials anymore. He did not want to be a part of the competition, despite not having substantially lower followers than Armon. He want did not to be there, and he wanted to figure out a way to basically squash did not from being able to go to the same court cases as him. So number 9 would have done that. Had this been granted, number 9, the stay away order, specifically of 9A4, my job or workplace, that would have prohibited do not from attending the trials where Armon was present. 9A9 says other. I don't know what that says. And then it says social media contact. I don't know what that is. And then social media contact. I have poor handwriting as well, so I can figure out a lot of things, but I don't know what that says. All right. Firearms, guns, firearm parts, and ammunition. Does the person do not own or possess any firearms? No. Or he says, I don't know. Okay. All right. 11. Temporary restraining order. I request a temporary restraining order to be issued against that person, against do not, to last until the hearing. I am presenting Form CH-110, temporary restraining order for the court signature together with this request. Has do not been told that you were going to go to court to seek a temporary restraining order against him or her? He says no, although he put it online that he was going to do so. He says, I fear further harassment or escalation. If he is something before the temporary restraining order is issued. Okay, so he was trying to say that he did not let Donat know because, he fears further harassment if the temporary restraining order, if Donat is aware before the restraining order is issued. Okay, well, I mean, we saw all that play out anyway, so, okay. 12, request to give less than 5 days notice of hearing. He checked that. Wow, okay. You must have your papers personally served on the person in at least 5 days before the hearing unless the court orders a shorter time frame for service. Wow, okay. 13, no fee for filing or service. He checked that there should be no filing or threatened to use violence against him, has stalked him, or has acted or spoken in some other way that made him reasonably fear violence. The sheriff or marshal should serve the person about the order for free because my request for orders is based on unlawful violence, a credible threat of violence, or stalking. There should be no filing fee, and the sheriff or marshal should serve the person, serve Donat, for free because I am entitled to a fee waiver. You must complete and file the form. How was he entitled to a fee waiver? Those are typically based upon income for 13C. 13A is not going to be a filing fee because you're saying that Donat has used or threatened to use violence against you, has stalked you, or acted or spoken in some way other that makes him fear violence. B, the sheriff or marshal should serve the person about the order for free because my request for orders is based on unlawful violence, a credible threat. I don't think he had to check each of these boxes. He could have just selected one. And I don't know how much he makes, but I don't believe he qualifies for 13C. Okay. What's next? Possession and protection of animals, there's nothing there. Additional orders requested, nothing there. Number of pages attached to this form, 7. Okay, there's no lawyer. And you have his name, the signature. I don't know what kind of signature that is, but okay, so December 1st is when this took place. Okay, so the attachments, here we go. We met in person in 2023 and were acquaintances briefly. In 2023, he attempted to attack me and we ended up in a physical altercation. Since that time, we have not had any personal or friendly relationship, but he has continued to harass and threaten me online and in person. So this isn't true, and we seen that with Donat, and we seen that Donat had pictures of him and Armon. Armon has posted them on his accounts as well of him and Donat, and there's a lot of commentary from Armon's supporters, people who were challenging his rekindled friendship with Donat and asking him why he would be friends with Donat after he threw piss or a drink or whatever it was in his face. So this can be countered, and Donat might actually be able to file suit for filing false information with the court because this is not true. All right, what's next? Attachment 7, description of harassment. On Tuesday, November 26th, while I was covering a court case in Miami, the respondent confronted me inside the courthouse bathroom. He called me derogatory names. That's the first time we've heard of that because we thought that they didn't really have an interaction. I thought that he was like saying things, but it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't to him directly. I thought he was like singing a song. Okay, became aggressive and told me he was going to fight me. Oh. An officer of the court was present and witnessed the threat. When we returned to the courtroom, the judge stopped the proceeding to ask who was being threatened, and a lawyer informed the judge that he heard the respondent making threats towards me. This incident is part of a long pattern of harassment dating back to 2023. In 2023, the respondent attempted to attack me, and we ended up in a physical altercation. Since that time, he has continued to harass, threaten, and target me both online and in person. I just would have admitted that part. From 2023 through 2025, the respondent has repeatedly posted hostile, threatening, and harassing content directed at me on social media. I have more than 20 to 30 videos, tweets, and posts in which he insults me, threatens violence, and tries to provoke confrontation. Okay. I'm just going to go back for 1 second. Because what he is saying, I don't feel like constitutes the restraining order. And I don't feel like it constitutes, which is probably why I was denied. I don't feel like it constitutes, what else did he ask for? He's asking for 2 things, the restraining order and a stay away order. Okay, yeah. So I would have to look at the actual statute, but stay away order is what he's asking for, to stay away from the job or the workplace, which is the one I find most problematic. But I fear for the harassment or escalation if he is something before the temporary restraining order is issued. I requested a temporary restraining order be issued against a person, do not to last until the hearing. Okay. All right, and then the no filing fee has used or threatened to use violence against me, has stalked me, has acted or spoken in some way other than what makes me reasonably fear for violence. Well, I guess he could say he has threatened to use violence against him, so that might work for A. It's based on unlawful violence and a credible threat of violence. He might be able to say it's a credible threat of violence simply because they've already fought previously. But okay, let's move on. Let me get back. Yeah. On November 29th, 2025, he posted a direct threatening message towards me on X.com stating, "I'ma stay on your neck, coward." This message was targeted at me by name and continues his ongoing escalation. That does not amount to needing a protection or restraining order. "I'ma stay on your neck." No. If Janot had said, "I'm going to find you and crush your neck into pieces," maybe. But not, "I'm going to stay on your neck." Coward. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Okay. I have not contacted or threatened the respondent. Even when I make general public posts unrelated to him, he takes them personally and responds with threats, harassments, and attempts to provoke conflict. His behavior is escalating, obsessive, and unpredictable. Well, Armon, you probably are throwing some shade. Let's be fair. I fear for my personal safety. I am requesting immediate protection from the respondent due to the pattern, of harassment, the recent direct threats, and the escalation witnessed inside a courthouse. Um, Additional ongoing concern. The harassment has continued into November 2025 and remains active as of this week. The person in item 2 has recently posted publicly that he intends to attend multiple upcoming court hearings and trials, including dates where I actively work as a reporter and content creator. He has already confronted me in person at a courthouse in Miami, where he verbally threatened me in the bathroom, stated he wanted to fight me. Is that what was said? Would the lawyer be able to corroborate that did not blatantly said he wanted to fight you, or was he singing a song where he said that? His online posts indicate that he intends to continue showing up wherever court cases are taking place. Yeah, he's working, which puts me at a direct risk of further confrontations while I am working. But he's working too. I am not seeking contact with him, but he repeatedly targets me online, tags me by name, threatens to stay on my neck, and makes statements suggesting confrontation. This makes me fear that future in person harassment or violence will occur during my work assignments. This is a reach. It's a reach. Because the crux of this is that he doesn't want him to be at the court cases. That's what this really is about. And that's what this is hinting at right here, is that he doesn't want him to be at the court cases. He's saying he's already confronted me in person at a courthouse. Um, yeah, this is what this is about. Let's keep going. I also became aware that the person in item 2 has an open misdemeanor, oh my God, case in LA Superior Court. While I am not using this case to allege wrongdoing, you are, and you have nothing to do with that misdemeanor. It increases my fear because it shows a pattern of violence. Of what? It's supposed to be volatility. Volatility. Okay. And I'm concerned about my safety when he continues targeting me directly. See, what he should have done when writing this was explain what the misdemeanor is actually for, because the misdemeanor could be for anything. It could be for check fraud. We have no idea how that connects to you being in fear of your life and him being a violent person. Because a major part of my job requires me to be inside courthouses reporting on legal proceedings, I cannot avoid these locations. I am requesting protection so I can safely work without being threatened, confronted, or harassed in person or online. Listen, Armon, at the end of the day, other people have the right to come to the court cases, just like you. I think that I don't know, like it seems like from the videos with Denat that he was taking when Milagro Graham was getting that piece of art with his name on it, and you guys were outside and Milagro was blatantly ignoring Denat. It seems like you guys were right next to one another. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you guys were right next to each other. So we can't say that you guys have not had contact since the 2023 incident, because we know that, and that's online. Everybody has seen that. We know that. But it does give that you just don't want him to be in the courthouse with you. That's what it seems like. It seems like you just don't want him to be around. And yeah, that's not okay. I mean, that is the theme throughout. The theme throughout is not, I'm scared for my life. This is a violent person. Because if so, you would have talked about the misdemeanor, which I don't know if that is a violent misdemeanor. It could be a misdemeanor for anything. Like I said, it could be check fraud. It could be theft. It could be anything. We don't know what that is. So you can't really use that unless you're going to actually give us details as to why, this misdemeanor is in connection with your fear. There isn't, I don't know. I don't really see a common theme of fear. Like, I see it, but it's minimal and compared to you requesting that he not be anywhere near your workplace. that he not be anywhere near the court in the cases that you're doing, which would preclude him from doing those cases, or he would have to do them at home online, and get the information that way instead of also being allowed to be in the courtroom with everyone else. So you guys let me know your thoughts. I like Armon. I'm beginning to like Deny. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm just reading what I see, and I did a video before where I talked about Armon and Deny. It's a very interesting dynamic that they both have, and the fact that Armon actually went forward to file this restraining order, is very interesting. Like I said, it was denied. However, if anything were to happen in the future, he does have this filing. So denied, if you were to aggravate him in some way, shape, or form in the future, he can use this as a basis of standing and say, hey, like, I already approached the court with this. You guys denied me, but here we are again. I'm getting harassed again. So I would tread carefully because he has already filed this. But yeah, I'm going to stay tuned for the next court case, whatever court case that might be, and we'll see if they're both there. All right, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.